Welcome, this is yoga. I have a block and a ring. You can use a strap if you don't have a ring. So go ahead and just come onto your mat, extend one leg forward and the other leg, just bring it in high up towards your inner thigh. Make sure those seat bones are grounded and that knee is onto a surface. You could also put a block under your knee if your knee is popping up. Inhale, reach up your arms, deep breath in, stretch even your fingers, open through your shoulders. And then on your exhalation, hug in toward that long leg. We're gonna stay here about 10 deep breaths. So just take your time with each exhalation and get even deeper. If you have a hard time reaching your foot or maybe your arms are extra long, get one of your props, either a block or a strap or a ring. And then just breathe into that. Extend through your heel. Try to look up just slightly so that you're hinging more from your front and instead of rounding your back. Just keep breathing into it. Good. Deep breaths. Remember, you can get deeper with the exhalation if it feels good, or just stay where you're at. 5 more deep breaths. Good. And on your exhalation, gently walk it up. So you have a nice tall spine, and we're just going to go right into the other side. So whatever leg you had, switch it up. Opposite leg comes in. Reset through those seat bones. Put a block under your knee if you need to. Inhale, reach your arms up. And on your exhalation, hug in. If you're a little bit more tight on one side than the other, that's totally normal. So maybe you had a block before and you don't want a block, or maybe you didn't need the strap before and you need the strap. Just same thing, other side, 10 deep breaths. Try to sink even lower with your exhalation. Good. Breathe into whatever's talking to you. Breathe into it. 5 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, gently release, walk yourself up, come to that tall spine, and then sit onto your heels. If it's not easy for you to sit onto your heels, then put a block under you and sit onto the block. So for me, it's easy to sit on my heels, but a lot of people need that assistance of the block. Inhale, reach both arms up, take one of your elbows, and then start bringing it in and out. Whatever side you're on, I have my right side, but just stick whatever side. I like to go with whatever naturally your body says to you. We're all different. You maybe have your left side, but we're dynamically moving through that shoulder right now. In and out. Try to keep your spine long with your belly button tucked in, a little tuck in that tailbone. And then just in and out, adding some resistance and then some stretch. 3, 2, and the next time that you bring that elbow in, stay here. Use your head to press back on that arm. So you're pressing in with your elbow and back with your head. You could stay here, or you could take your other hand, wrap it around and connect your fingers. You could always use a strap to help you if you need. Breathe into it. We're going to stay here 10 deep breaths, just really taking your time, stretching out through that shoulder. And if you want to, you can slowly start tilting over toward the direction of your opposite arm. So I'm looking over to my left, my right arm is up. Whatever arm is up or that you are stretching, look the opposite way to deepen that stretch. Good, 3 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, gently unwind, circle your arms. Remember which arm that you were doing, because we're gonna come into a down dog and then we're gonna do the other side. So make sure you remember if you were doing your right, we're gonna do your left next time, or if you were doing your left, then I'll do your right. Circle those arms. You can go fast or slow, whatever feels good for you. Isolate through the shoulders. And when you're ready, just go the other way. Three, and then take your arms right out in front of you and curl your toes, take it into a down dog, walk your dog. Open up through the shoulders, keep your fingers nice and wide, straighten out your back. If at any time you needed to, you could come down into a cat-cow or a child's pose, but if it feels good, we have 5 more breaths here. And on your next exhalation, lower your knees back onto the ground, and we're coming back into that hero's pose where you're sitting onto your heels. Use your block under you if you need to. Inhale, reach your arms up. Bend your elbows, now taking your opposite elbow that we did before. Start bringing it in and out. In and out. While you have a little tuck in that tailbone, lengthening through the spine. And it's like you're putting some muscle into that stretch. So I don't want you to just totally be stretching. I want it to be a little bit of strength too. A few more. And then we're just going to hug it in. And now bring it in. Take a moment here to just press your head onto that arm. Press your head back behind you onto that arm. Keep hugging in your elbow. And you have your option to take your other arm and wrap it around. I'm more tight on this side. So I almost need a strap, but I think I can make it. Yeah, so it's normal if you're tighter on one side than the other. Use your strap if you need to. We have 10 deep breaths here. So take your time getting there. Here's our now, if you want to, start shifting the opposite direction of the arm that you're stretching. Looking behind the other shoulder, keep breathing. Good. 5 more deep breaths. Breathe into it. And on your exhalation, gently release. Take your time. Circle it out. Stretch even your fingers. Isolate through your shoulders. Good. And then when you're ready, go your other way. We're going to take a few more shoulder circles, then we're going to move it back into that downward facing dog. And when you're ready, stretch those arms right out in front of you, curl your toes to get into your downward facing dog. Option to walk your dog, or you can hold your down dog. Keep straightening up through the back, opening up through the shoulders, tuck your chin into your chest, and just breathe here. Take your time. If you are walking your dog, when you're on one leg, try to get a little sway. Just when you're on that straightened out leg, get a little sway. It helps get deep into hip flexors, hamstrings, all those back leg muscles. Remember, if at any time you need to, you could move it into your child's pose or cat-cow. Sometimes the blood flow is a little bit too much for people. Otherwise, we have 5 more deep breaths. And on your next exhalation, lower your knees down. Point your toes to just make your feet flat onto the ground. And then just start moving through your spine in cat-cow motions, but with little sways right to left along the way. So it's not just up and down cat-cow, it's up and down, sway side to side, cat-cow. Feel into your breath. If you can, breathe into the belly when you arc your spine, and exhale into the back when you round. Good, about 2 more. And then we're just gonna flatten out our back into a tabletop position. Inhale, reach one arm up, deep breath in, and we're gonna thread it through. We're gonna take a few of these motions, just moving with the breath. Inhale, reaching up, exhale, thread through. Slight little gravity on the floor there, with your shoulder pressing onto the floor, but then right back up. Good, we have 2 more of these, and then we're just gonna stay and breathe into that shoulder. And the next time that you thread that arm through, stay there with your option, whatever side you're on. You can have that opposite hand press onto the ground. You could reach it forward and extend through the fingertips, or you could bring it around, wrap it into your back pocket. And again, remember which shoulder you're doing right now. I typically start with my right and then I go to my left, but you might be different. And if you wanted to add a balance challenge, your opposite leg can come up. Which I have my right arm threaded under and my left leg up. So opposite arm to leg if you're adding your balance. Be careful, breathe. Good, 2 more deep breaths. exhalation lowers your knee down onto the earth. Press your hands back under your shoulders and move back into that cat-cow with your wiggling side to side at your own comfort, whatever feels good. Good. And now we're finding our flat tabletop back. Now your other arm that you didn't do before comes up. Deep breath in and exhale. We're threading through in that dynamic warm up. Inhaling up, exhaling. Little touch with your shoulder onto the ground and right back up. Try to move with that breath. Inhaling into the chest and exhaling as you thread through. Take your time, whatever your breath is doing. Just listen to that, to your body. In and thread. Good. 3 more, and then we're just going to stay with that shoulder onto the mat. Good. And the next time that you have that shoulder onto the mat, stay here with your option to keep your hand where it is and press, extend through the fingertips, or put it into your back pocket. Then you could add your balancing if you want, with your opposite leg extended to the arm that's threaded under. Five more breaths. And on your exhalation, we're slowly coming out the same way we came in. So if you have the leg, do the leg first, and then your hands under your shoulders. Press, curl your toes and press it back into your downward facing dog. Start walking your dog, and when you have all the weight on one side, sway your hips side to side, and then move it to your other side. Lower the heel down and sway your hips side to side. Just really getting deep into that stretch. Keep tucking that chin into your chest. Opening up through the shoulders, straightening your arms, widening your fingers. Breathe. Good. 5 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, lower your knees down onto the ground, point your toes so your feet get flat, and then come up onto your knees. Interlace your fingers behind your back. If that's hard for you, then get a strap or your ring. We're going to just start moving our head side to side, getting your spine nice and long, and then find a neutral spine. Press your hips forward. Chest opens up to the sky, and then start bending and lengthening your arms. Every time you bend, you can straighten up your spine. Every time you lengthen, try to open up a little bit more into the chest body. Okay, we're dynamically warming up those shoulders, the chest. We have about 5 more of these, and then we're just going to stay in our stretch. And then the next time that you have your arms straight, reach your arms all the way back to the other end of the room, press your hips forward, open up your chest, 10 breaths here, breathe. On your exhalation, tuck your chin into your chest. Start lowering down onto the ground. We're coming into a child's pose. The hands stay behind you. Open up your knees if you want to. Lower your forehead to the ground and then stretch your shoulders even more. Back behind you. Bring them up as high as you can. Five more deep breaths. Keep stretching it out, breathing. And on your exhalation, bring your head up slightly, lower your arms down, untangle your arms and wiggle them out. Wiggle out wrist, shoulders, start making sway side to side with your alternate arm, like one arm coming on top, the other arm on bottom, and then alternating. Good, two more. 1, 2. And then bring those hands right back out in front of you. Curl your toes into downward facing dog. We're gonna walk the dog for a few breaths. Then we're gonna come into a 3-legged dog. And then we're gonna start finding a split. So take your time walking out your dog. Make any little movements along the way that feel good. Open up through the shoulders. Widen those fingers. And then put all the weight onto your one side, whatever side. For me, it's my right side. Left leg or your other leg extends up. Stay here and breathe. We're gonna have 5 deep breaths, and then we're gonna thread it through. On your exhalation, thread that leg all the way through. Start widening your stance. So we're not going to come into a full split just yet. We're just going to come into a long lunge with our knee pressed onto the ground. Stay here just a moment, breathing into it. Try to wiggle your hips side to side. Wiggle, breathe. Getting nice and loose. Feeling through any tension, any resistance. Feel into it. Maybe you're widening your stance a little bit more. And then we're going to come back to neutral position. Shift your hips back. Your front leg is going to be long. And your foot is going to be down. Curl your toes like you're crunching up the mat below you, and you should feel a stretch come into the top part of your foot, all the way up into your shin. Breathe into that. If you had a hard time touching your hands to the ground, you could put a block, actually have your block near you if you don't already, because we're going to need that coming up. But if you need it like right now, you can use it to support under you. Good. Keep curling those toes into that mat. Feel the stretch in the top part of your foot. And now lift your toes up, but your heel is gonna stay down. And then little shifts side to side, moving through your hip. Try to keep that toe pointed up, your heels extending out. Okay, we have 3 more breaths here. And then we're gonna take our full split, our full Hanasana. You could always come back into one of these variations and you're still gonna get a similar stretch. So when you're ready, start sliding that foot out in front of you even more. If you have a block, this is where I like to put a block under my thigh, my hamstring. And we're different from day to day. We might be more tight one day than we are another day. Take your time. We have 10 deep breaths here. So just listen to your body. Do what feels good. Ease into it. Make little movements along the way. Little sways really help me get deeper into my pose. And breaths. Breathing into it. If you want to, bring your arms up. 5 more deep breaths. Oh, and release. Slowly come out the same way you came in. Shifting your weight back towards your feet. Knees coming under your hips. And then curl your toes, take it back into your downward facing dog. Walk out your dog. All right, we're gonna walk our dog for another few breaths, and then we're gonna do our other side. So just remember what side you did before, and we'll switch it up. And when you're ready, put all the weight onto your opposite foot as before. That leg that was out in front, just switch the sides. Make sure you're doing your other side. 5 deep breaths here. And when you're ready, thread this leg through, step it forward, start sliding into a nice long, deep lunge with that knee lowering down. And then make little sway movements to start getting deep into your hip, into the hip flexors. Breathe. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here, and then we'll shift the weight back, stretching into the foot, and then we'll come into our full split. Good, keep breathing. Good, and then when you're ready, neutralize your spine, keep your foot flat onto the ground, and shift your hips back toward that bent knee. Your front foot is flat, and curl those toes like they're picking up the mat. Stretch out into your foot all the way up into your shin. Breathe. Keep curling those toes into the mat. 3 more deep breaths. And then lift your foot up, heel stays down, extend through your heel. You're gonna feel that stretch change a little bit more toward the back of your leg instead of the front of your leg. And if it feels good to make little movements side to side with your hips, You can do that, or just stay and breathe into it. If you're feeling any resistance, any tension, try to stay there. Breathe, send that breath into it. The pranayama, the life force. Good. 2 more deep breaths. Now, you can stay here in any variation of this that you want to, or you can take your full split. Remember to use your block as you need. And also remember, it's totally normal to be more tight on one side than the other. And remember, there's 3 different heights to the block also. We have 10 more deep breaths. Good. 1 more deep breath in. And the exhalation slowly starts to unwind us. Coming out the same way that you came in. Finding those knees under your hip bones, your hands under your shoulders, curl your toes. Take it into down dog. And you can walk your dog or just hold your down dog. Do 5 more deep breaths here. And we're going to do a little bit of balancing. And on your exhalation, bend your knees, shift your weight back, and either step or jump up towards your hands. Take your hands onto your legs. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bow down. 3 more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, back down. Move with that breath. 1 more, and then just stay hugged in. 5 breaths here. Hug in toward your legs. Let your head, let the energy just drain. And now start tucking in your tailbone. Very slowly round up through your spine. Trying to feel each vertebrae as you come up till you come to a nice tall spine. Take a moment to feel grounded. You bring your palms to your heart center. Plant your feet onto the ground like a tree that has roots. Make little side movements with your head. And then we're going to cross our right ankle over our left knee. And then you're going to cross your right arm over your left arm. Start bringing your palms together as best you can. So we're going to come into an eagle pose. Now sit into this at your own comfort level. It's kind of actually a combination of eagle and broken chair, because I want to get a little bit more hip stretch in there, which is why we just have our broken chair instead of our full twisting around with the leg. And then keep bringing your arms up as you sit into your chair. Good. 3 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, slowly unwind. Now we're going to go other side. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. and the left arm over the right. Twist up those arms and try to get your palms to touch each other with that left foot flexed over your right knee, sit into it. Look at something not moving, keep breathing and balancing. Two more deep breaths. And the exhalation slowly brings us out, wiggle it out. All right, now we have a chair pose with a twist. So bring your heels together, your toes are gonna be out just slightly. Start sitting into your chair, squeeze your knees together. And then take one elbow over your opposite knee. Press your arms together, or press your hands together. Open up through your chest, look up to the ceiling. Whatever knee or whatever elbow is bent over your knee, really press that elbow into the leg to open up. 5 breaths here. And the exhalation gently unwinds us and takes us over to the other side. Opposite elbow to knee. Your knees and your ankles are squeezed together, but your feet are about fist distance apart. And then press to really open up that chest. Open up as you breathe. Feel the stretch into your shoulder. Two more deep breaths. And the exhalation gently unwinds us. Come back to standing position. Inhale, reach your arms up, interlace your fingers. Your palms open up toward the ceiling. Your feet are about as wide as your hips, maybe a little bit wider. We're gonna inhale, open up. Exhale, go one direction, slowly go down. And the inhalation brings you up. Now switch the side that you go. Exhale, going down. Inhale, bringing up. Keep alternating which way you're going. Move with that breath. Exhaling down. Inhale to bring you up. You just go at your own pace. All right. 2 more each side. Good, and make sure you're even on both sides. And then come standing, place your hands behind your head. And then just lean back into your hands as you press your hips forward. Stay here, breathe. Now, if it feels good, you can stay here or try to place your hands behind your low back with your option for your fingers to point down, or your fingers could point up for a little bit more challenge. And keep pressing your hips forward as you lean back. Two more deep breaths. And the exhalation slowly brings you back up. We're going to dip ourselves back down, walk your hands out to the floor. Press back into your down dog. It's our last down dog of the day. So make it your own. You can either just breathe into it, you could walk it out. whatever you're feeling. 5 deep breaths here. And the exhalation lowers your knees down to the earth. Cross your legs behind you. Shift your weight back. And then we're going to start lowering ourselves down. Find a ring or a strap along the way. And then hook one of your feet onto the ring. Your other leg can just go long. And do a few little bend and lengthens here. And then when your leg is long, just whatever is feeling good to you. You could stay and stretch out right in front of you. You could take your legs side to side. Any last little tension that you have into your legs, any tightness that you're feeling, just breathe into it, stretch it out, maybe even give it a little massage. Just breathe through it. We have 5 more deep breaths. And then gently release and switch your sides. Just go right onto your other side. Take a few bend and lengthens. And whenever you're ready, keep it long and just move it around, searching for any resistance. And if you feel any resistance, try to just hug and breathe into it, massage into it, move through it. Good, about 3 more deep breaths. And when you're ready, gently release your prop, your ring, or your strap. Let your legs go long to the floor. Feel nice and long through your spine, ground through your shoulders and your hips. If you wanted to, you could put on a sweater or a blanket. And we're just going to rest in Savasana for a minute or two. Let your feet open up, let your palms open up. Let your breath start to get heavy and deep. Relaxing. Notice your breath. Wherever it's at today. Just feeling calm and peaceful. Begin making small movements, wiggling your fingers, your toes, blinking your eyes. And when you're ready, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug, gently rock side to side. And then coming to your right side in your seed pose. Take a moment here, just breathe. When you're ready, use your left hand to press all the way up into a seated position. Inhale, reach your arms up, let your palms touch, and then rub your hands together. Rub, create energy, heat. Rub, rub, rub. All right, and when you feel like you can't rub anymore, we're gonna place our left hand onto our heart and our right hand onto the crown of your head, and just feel the energy from your heart to your head as you feel the energy grounding in towards your seat. And then start finding your palms together, your thumbs coming into your heart center. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you.